Told you a lot of coal and related stocks are taking on the chin today, a continuation of what they think is an all-out war on their industry by a president and by administration that doesn't really much care and will deal with the constitutional or legal details later. The gist of the Republican argument and the critics' argument against this effort to, in the name of climate change, go after emission standards aggressively over the next few years is that the president has the power to do this. They insist that he does not, and that therein lies the rub. But they do see a trend, a president and administration that oversteps itself, waits for the courts to rule later on this, but they're long gone. The changes are long made, and then they just go out there with one of these kind of deals. That's kind of what they say. But now there is a case, so sometimes within the administration, a court rules against what they're doing. The EPA comes to mind. Congressman Ed Royce on the Republicans' plan to deal with that. And what we discovered, Congressman, is that the Supreme Court said to the EPA, you've got to factor in the cost of what you're doing before you willy-nilly change things. And they just double down on this with the measures today, just like a lot of your colleagues say they double down on this deportation stuff, even though two different courts slapped them down on this. I don't see deportations resuming after the administration wanted to freeze 5 million of them. I get a sense, sir, that they don't much follow what the courts are saying, or for that matter, what you're saying. What do you make of that?
And another problem here is that we've actually got two different decisions by the courts as it relates to the EPA. One earlier decision, unfortunately, very close decision, indicated the EPA did have some of this authority. And so part of the problem is it also matters, not just elections for president, but it also matters who gets appointed to the court. And increasingly on these 5-4 decisions, a lot is going to depend upon whether the court swings in the direction of the Republican interpretation of the Constitution or swings the other way.
Do you know the latest swing, if you will, sir, is that no. We're not saying yay or nay on the decisions you're making, EPA. We are saying yay or nay that you've not factored in the cost of said decisions. That seems to be fairly clear. These costs, as you know, are going to be prohibitively higher and a lot more sweeping. So I guess I can't read after that Supreme Court why the administration would even propose it, because that is really flaunting the court. Or do they feel that by the time the court sorts out this latest, as some of your colleagues see it, roughshod treatment, that they're long out of there and these changes are already well along the way?
Neil, I think they're banking on the court not being assertive. Now, clearly the court could come in. We could have a decisive decision here, which forces the hand of the administration with respect to the court decision, right? That would involve even a stay at what they're doing. And the Supreme Court doesn't deal with stays, but they're just not going to jump in when they feel they've already jumped in, right? But wait, I think the problem is a little more complicated than that. I think that the conservatives on the court have a hard time mustering that additional fifth vote. I think what we see right now is a reticence to go in and take that constitutionalist perspective here. And frankly, that's another consequence of not having the right appointments to the Supreme Court. And that should be part of the overall. This should be addressed, I would hope, by by the candidates running for president, because it's a key question going forward.
Well, you didn't hear this from me, Congressman, but there's a big debate on Thursday, and I'm betting it could come up. It's always good to have you, sir. One of the few people not running for president for the time being. Congressman Royce, thank you very much.